Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome back to the topic mechanical properties of fluid. In the mechanical properties of fluid, we have studied hydrodynamic in the last lecture. What is hydrodynamic? It is nothing but the branch of physics which deals with the study of fluids and motion. So far we have studied the fluid in a state of rest, means hydrostatics. But here we will be studying the hydrodynamic. Let us recall the few terms that we have studied in the last lecture. We have seen the flow of a fluid or flow of a liquid. Based on the flow, we will define these various quantities. First one is steady flow. Steady flow means what? It is a flow in which the pressure and velocity at any given point of a liquid is supposed to be constant. Or you can say constant flow of a fluid. Now second thing, second thing is flow line. If the entire fluid is supposed to be imagined in the imaginary cylindrical tube, so each and every particle of a fluid is supposed to be moved in a single line. That line is called as flow line. So let us see how the flow line is defined. It is the path of an individual particle in a moving fluid. Here we have taken the diagram of a flow tube. Flow tube is an imaginary flow of a fluid. So this flow tube is nothing but the bundle of flow lines. Flow lines is nothing but the path of a line path which is followed by a particle while moving from one point to another point. Then we have studied the streamline flow. Streamline flow means what? It is same as flow line. It is a curve whose tangent at any point in the flow is in the direction of a velocity. We have seen that the flow of a fluid may not be constant. Its path may vary. It may not be a straight. So at each and every point when you draw the tangent to the flow lines, these tangents are going to give the direction of velocity. So this is the concept of streamline. Then flow tube, just now we have stated that it is an imaginary bundle of a flow line bounded by imaginary wall. Then we have studied the turbulent flow and laminar flow. Laminar flow is same as streamline flow. What is streamline flow? It is a steady flow in which adjacent layer of a fluid moves smoothly over each other. We all know that we have assumed that the flow of a fluid is in terms of a layer. So here we have taken the topmost layer. Here the arrow denotes the direction of flow here. So in a steady flow or in a laminar flow, laminar is a term derived from a plane or lamina or a layer flow. So fluid is always flowing in terms of layers. So a steady flow in which the adjacent layer of a fluid moves smoothly. All the flow is smooth. You can say steady flow is a streamline flow or a laminar flow. Then the second thing is a turbulent flow. Student, you might have observed the flooded river, how the flow of a liquid being observed over there, or a tap running very fast. If a tap is running very fast, then there is no streamline, there is no constant structure of a flow tube we are going to get over there. There will be a sharp transgression of one path from the another path. So here we will say that the flow is not steady, the flow is turbulent. So direction of streamlines may not be straight, it may go anywhere over there. And direction of velocity is also not constant over here. So we have studied two types of flow, laminar flow and turbulent flow. So these are the various things that we have studied. Then we have studied Now let us move on to the new topic called as viscosity. What does mean by viscosity? Viscous means what? It is another term given to the word friction. You will have studied the friction force. What is the function of a frictional force in a mechanical physics? We all have studied it is the opposition force, the force which opposes the motion of the motion of any object. Whenever two surfaces are kept in contact with each other, they exert force in between them. This force is called as frictional force. So such type of force is also observed in case of a liquid, and that force is called as viscosity. Before studying the definition of viscosity, let us consider few examples. Student, you might have seen the flow of water. Whenever water is poured from a glass, what type of flow you are going to observe? You will see that the flow of water will be quite rapid. Very rapidly the water will flow from a glass. Similarly, you can take the example of a syrup or a honey. You all are aware with the honey. So when we consider the example of honey, take again do the same procedure here. Take a honey and try to flow it from a glass. What you are going to observe? Or in place of a honey, if you take any syrup, you may consider it as a cough syrup. So if you consider a cough syrup and try to flow it from a glass, what would be your observation? Your observation will be, you will see that the honey will flow slowly as compared to the water. What does it mean? Why it cannot flow as smoothly as water? You will also see that some of the honey will stick to the container as well. What does it mean? It is the reason is there must be a certain restriction force or opposing force between the layers of a fluid which restrict the motion of fluid. So we all know that we are studying the flow of a fluid in terms of a layers. So viscosity is nothing but the force which exists between the two adjacent layers. Restriction force, opposing force which exists between the two layers of a liquid is called as viscosity. So let us now define the viscosity. It is a property of a fluid by virtue of which the relative motion between the different layers of a fluid experience a dragging force. What does mean by dragging force? Dragging force means what? It is a opposition force, restricted force, which does not allow the smooth flow of a liquid. So here we will see let us consider the schematic diagram of a viscous flow. It is viscous flow is taken over here and non-viscous flow is also taken. Viscous means there is an opposition force involved over here. You can consider this as an example of honey or a syrup. Honey or syrup may not flow as rapidly as water. So how you are going to draw the path of the velocities followed by the different layers of the fluid? Here we have taken different layers of a liquid. We have divided the entire liquid into a number of layers. Here we have drawn the direction of flow of each layers, and here the central layer is having the maximum arrow of the central layer is maximum. It means that it is having a maximum velocity, while the layers of a liquid which are adjacent to it, they are having a little bit, they are moving little bit slower as compared to the central one. So this difference between the layers of a liquid, this difference is due to the dragging force between these layers, and this dragging force arises because of the cohesive force. We have studied the force which exerts between the same molecule of a liquid, between the molecule of a same substance is called as cohesive force. So here the cohesive force among the liquid will try to drag the different layers of a liquid. So that is why different layers of a liquid are moving with the different velocity, in which the central layer is moving with the maximum velocity. You might have seen a flow of a river. River flow, you might have seen, students, how the river is flowing. Suppose this is a river. How the flow of a water, you might have observed the part of a fluid or part of a water which is in contact with the bank of the river, here and here. These liquid and these water will flow little bit slower, while the central part of or central flow of a water will be maximum, while the different layer which are adjacent to it, they are moving with the different, they are moving relatively slow. You might have seen the flow of river as well. And this slowness of a different layer of a liquid is just because of the dragging force, and dragging force in case of a liquid arises because of the force of cohesion that we have already studied. So here we have drawn the viscous flow diagram. Now let us study the fluid which is non-viscous. Since we have taken the example of only water and honey, so we can say in comparison with the honey, we can say that water is a non-viscous over here. Means it is having a very low viscous force, very low dragging force. So when we draw the flow of non-viscous fluid, so different layers of a liquid, they all are moving with the same velocity. They all are having the same, all the arrows are of same length, as you all can see here. It means what? All the layers of a liquid is having the same velocity. There is no viscous drag between the adjacent layer. So this is the schematic diagram of a non-viscous flow. In comparison with the honey, you can consider this as the example of water. Well, water is also having a viscosity, but it is very low in comparison with the honey. The best example of a non-viscous fluid is a liquid helium. Liquid helium, you all know that helium is a gas. When an liquid helium kept at 2K, when the temperature of the helium gas is maintained at 2K, means when it is lower up to 2K, helium gas will get liquefied, and this helium gas, this helium fluid or this helium liquid will be considered as a non-viscous fluid. Means it is not having any viscous drag in it. Such a liquid is also called as superfluid. That is why this liquid helium is also called as superfluid. So this is what how we can define the viscosity. Let us again define it as a viscosity is nothing but the friction. Please keep it in mind. So it is a property of a fluid by virtue of which the relative motion between the different layers of fluid experience a dragging force. Dragging means opposing force. So let us see the schematic diagram over here. Schematic diagram of the different layers. Here we have taken the topmost layer. We have drawn the different layer, and they all are having a viscous drag in between them. All the layers are having opposition force between them. So the arrow here which we have drawn, this arrow denotes the velocity of a layer. So here we have considered few layers of a liquid, and the last layer that we have drawn over here, it is stationary, it is not moving, not at all moving. Layer above it is moving with a slight speed. Layer above it is also moving and is having a speed greater than the previous one. So gradually these layers are arranged in such a way that they are in the increasing order of velocity. The topmost layer over here is having the highest velocity. So let us study few terms over here, and obviously as these layers are arranged, so they are having a difference of distance as well. These layers are kept one above the other. So let us consider one reference layer over here. Here we have taken the second layer over here is our reference layer, and this reference layer is moving with the velocity v, and the difference, and the topmost layer, obviously the topmost layer is having the highest velocity. It is slightly higher in velocity as compared to the layer below it. So let us say it is moving with the velocity v plus dv, and the layer which is below the reference layer, it is moving with the velocity, the difference between the velocities of the two adjacent layers, suppose it is dv. So then what would be the velocity of the layer below it? It will be, there will be a difference of dv, so layer below it will have the velocity v minus dv. In the same way, the adjacent distance between them, reference layer, suppose it is having a it is at a distance of x from the stationary layer of a liquid. The layer which is below it, it is at a distance of x minus dx, and the layer which is above it, it is at a distance of x plus dx. So these are the difference. What is the difference of distance between the two layers? You can say that difference of distance is only dx, and difference of velocity is only dv. So when the flow is steady, or when the flow is non-viscous, you can say, when the velocities are measurable, when the flow is streamlined, or when the flow is laminar, or when the flow is steady, in such a case the velocity is very small. So we can measure the velocity. In such a case, we will measure the difference between the velocity. These quantities will be measurable. But if the flow of a fluid is not smooth, if it is not steady flow, if it is turbulent, then the velocity measurement will be very difficult for us. So in that case, another term is used called as velocity gradient. Velocity gradient is used. It is just like when in various cases when we cannot measure the mass of an object, we are using the quantity density. So here also, if we cannot measure the velocity, then we can use the term called as velocity gradient. Let us see what is velocity gradient over here. It is nothing but the ratio of change in velocity to that of change in distance. So it is defined as the rate of change of velocity dv with the distance dx measured from the stationary layer is called as velocity gradient. And mathematically, this velocity gradient is written as, what is the change in velocity? It is dv. And what is the change in distance? It is dx. This quantity is called as velocity gradient. So when the flow is turbulent, in that case, we are going to use this term velocity gradient. If the flow is smooth, then we can only measure the change in velocity, and it is measurable also. So let's study one more thing over here called as coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity means what? In the last lecture, we have studied the critical velocity. Now let us study first coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity, we have studied the term. We all know that it is written as eta. In the last lecture, we have studied the critical velocity, means the velocity beyond which the streamline or a steady flow becomes the turbulent flow. In the derivation of that critical velocity, we have seen this term coefficient of viscosity. Now this is the time to define coefficient of viscosity. We have drawn the various layers of the liquid. We all know that the force of friction or force of viscosity, or you can say viscous drag. So viscous drag, this force is denoted by small f. So this dragging force between the layers of a liquid is found to be directly proportional to the area of the layer. Obviously, greater the area of a layer, greater would be the viscous force between the layers. So it is found to be directly proportional to the area of a layer, and it is also found to be directly proportional to the velocity gradient dv by dx. Greater the change in velocity with distance dx, greater would be the dragging force. So viscous dragging force is found to be directly proportional to the area of a layer and directly proportional to the rate of change of velocity with respect to distance, or you can say velocity gradient. So it is quite commonly we can say that yeah, the viscous drag should be directly proportional to the area of a layer, and it should be directly proportional to the velocity gradient. So based on these two facts, we can write this equation as dragging force is equal to, now we'll have to put some constant, let's say eta. This constant eta into A into dv by dx. And this eta, this constant, is as it is in the equation of a viscous drag force. So that is why this constant is called as coefficient of viscosity. So how we can write down the formula of coefficient of viscosity? Eta is equal to, you'll be getting it as eta, will you just keep it as it is and take rest of the quantities to the LHS. You'll be getting it as F upon A into dv by dx. Now how we can define the coefficient of viscosity? It is nothing but the if let's put some condition also. If area of a layer is 1 square meter or 1 meter square, whatever, if it is equal to having a value 1, and if velocity gradient is also having a value 1, then we will be getting eta as f. So eta will become, now we can define this eta and coefficient of viscosity as it is nothing but the dragging force or viscous drag per unit area per unit velocity gradient. So in this way we can define the coefficient of viscosity over here. It is, I am repeating the definition of coefficient of viscosity. It is a viscous force per unit area per unit velocity gradient. Now let's see what is the unit of this coefficient of viscosity. Eta is equal to, it is force is having a unit Newton, area is having a unit meter square, and dv by dx, velocity is having a unit meter per second, upon distance is having a unit meter. Meter will get cancelled, second will come in the numerator. You will be getting as it as Newton second per meter square. This is the SI unit of the coefficient of viscosity. So hope you all have understood the topic coefficient of viscosity. Let's see the short video of your physics class so that you can better understand the concept of viscosity. Thank you.
एक चम्मच हनी, एक चम्मच सिरप ग्लास प्लेट पे डालें. In order to speed up the process, we'll increase the slope of this glass surface. See now, cup syrup is flowing rapidly. ये rapid दिख रहा है दोस्तों क्योंकि हम 4 times speed पे देख रहे हैं. And the honey is also flowing very slowly. Now let us see the water. It's free and quick to flow. Observe carefully. हनी बड़ी आराम से नीचे आ रहा है। Now, wow, beautiful layers can be seen here. तो हनी और सिरप बड़ी आराम से स्लोली नीचे आ रहा है। इसकी वजह फ्लूइड फ्रिक्शन है। दिस फ्रिक्शन इज बोथ विद इन द फ्लूइड इटसेल्फ and between the fluid and its surrounding. Okay, this property of fluid is called viscosity. Water has low viscosity and syrup and honey has high viscosity. That is why water was quick to flow and honey and syrup are a bit slower. Schematic diagram of viscous flow is shown in figure. So when we talk about viscous liquid, तो विस्कस लिक्विड में देर आर लेयर्स। ओके, जैसे इस डायग्राम में आपको शो किया हुआ है, देर आर वेरियस लेयर्स एंड ये लेयर्स अलग अलग वेलोसिटी से मूव करती है। ओके, बट जैसे ये फ्लो आगे बढ़ रहा है, आप जानते हैं जैसे डायग्राम में दिखा रहा है फ्लो इज मूविंग फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट, ऐसे में जो सेंट्रल एरो है वो बहुत बड़ा दिखाया। एरो बड़ा दिखाने का वजह यह है कि जो सेंट्रल लेयर है वो फास्टेस्ट है। ओके, एंड आउटरमोस्ट लेयर्स जो है वो स्लो है, सबसे स्लो है। क्लियर? इसकी एकमात्र वजह है विस्कस ड्रैग बिटवीन द एडजेसेंट लेयर्स। ठीक है, अगर हम नॉन विस्कस की बात करते हैं, नॉन विस्कस लिक्विड में ऐसा नहीं होता। आप स्कीमेटिक डायग्राम पहले देख लीजिए, बाद में आपको रियल एग्जांपल दूंगा। इस स्कीमेटिक डायग्राम में जो लेयर्स आपको दिखाई दे रही है, ये लेयर्स में एरोज आपको सेम लेंथ के दिख रहे हैं। सभी एरोज सेम लेंथ के दिखने की वजह यह है कि सभी लेयर सेम वेलोसिटी से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। यहाँ एक दूसरे के बीच में कोई विस्कस ड्रैग नहीं है, मतलब नॉन विस्कस लिक्विड का विस्कोसिटी ज़ीरो होने वाला है। ठीक है, अब डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन में जो हनी देखा था उसका विस्कोसिटी बहुत ज़्यादा है कप सिरप से भी, और वाटर का बहुत लो है। इसलिए आपने देखा कि वाटर इंस्टेंटली फ्रीली फ्लो हो गया था, लेकिन हनी बड़ी आराम से चल रहा था। ठीक है, अब नॉन विस्कस ड्रैग का मैं एक बेस्ट एग्जांपल दूं, लिक्विड हेलियम। आप स्क्रीन पर लिक्विड हेलियम देख रहे हैं जिसे 2 केल्विन के ऊपर रखा गया है। हेलियम असल में गैस है, वी ऑल नो दैट। ओके, बट एट वेरी लो टेम्परेचर, दैट इज 2 केल्विन, इट इज लिक्विफाइड एंड उस वक्त इसमें कोई विस्कस ड्रैग नहीं होता, इसकी विस्कोसिटी ज़ीरो होती है। इस वजह से इसे सुपर फ्लूइड भी कहा जाता है। अभी यहाँ पे एक रिवर देख रहे हैं, ये विस्कस फ्लो का एग्जाम्पल पे आए हम वापस। इस रिवर में जो बैंक ऑफ रिवर के आसपास का वाटर है वो स्लोली मूव कर रहा है, लेकिन जो सेंटर में है वो फास्ट मूव कर रहा है। इसकी वजह क्या है? इसकी वजह अपोजिंग फोर्स बिटवीन एडजेसेंट लेयर्स ऑफ फ्लूइड है। ओके, जो उनका रिलेटिव मोशन अफेक्ट कर रहा है। क्लियर? सो इससे हम ये डिफाइन कर रहे हैं, विस्कोसिटी इज दैट प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ फ्लूइड by virtue of which the relative motion between different layers of fluid experience a dragging force. Okay, this dragging force जो होता है ना, इसी को हम viscous drag भी कहते हैं। अब आप ये स्कीमेटिकली इस डायग्राम में समझ लीजिए, जो भी आपको दिखाई दे रहा है। सबसे टॉप की लेयर देखिए, उसका एरो सबसे बड़ा दिखाया क्योंकि वो फास्टेस्ट है। उसके नीचे स्लो है, उसके नीचे और स्लो हो गया, है ना? क्यों स्लो हो गया जानते हैं? जो फास्टेस्ट आगे बढ़ रही है वो रिलेटिवली फास्टर है। अगर हम यूँ समझे उसके नीचे की लेयर से वो फास्ट है, मतलब दो के बीच में फ्रिक्शन जनरेट हो रहा है। आप फ्रिक्शन जो है वो बैकवर्ड डायरेक्शन में होने की वजह से नीचे की लेयर स्लो हो जाती है। उसके नीचे के लेयर के साथ भी सेम होता है, इसलिए वो उससे स्लो हो जाती है। सो दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई द लिक्विड लेयर्स बिकम स्लोअर। क्लियर? सो लिक्विड के अंदर में ये विस्कस ड्रैग ड्यू टू शॉर्ट रेंज मॉलिक्यूलर कोहेसिव फोर्स होता है, और गैसेस में ये ड्यू टू कोलिजन्स बिटवीन फास्ट मूविंग मॉलिक्यूल्स होता है। जैसे आप स्क्रीन पे देख रहे, गैस के अंदर में कैसा रहता, कोहेसिव फोर्स बहुत वीक रहता, ऑलमोस्ट नथिंग। ओके, तो वो कॉन्स्टेंटली मूव करता रहता है, जैसे आप स्क्रीन पे देख रहे हैं। सो दे आर कोलाइडिंग ऑन ईच अदर एंड देयर कोलिजन इज प्रोवाइडिंग दैट विस्कस ड्रैग। ओके, हवा का विस्कस ड्रैग हमारे साथ होता है कि नहीं, राइट? वो कैसे होता है? वो कोलिजन की वजह से होता है, ठीक है। लिक्विड में विस्कस ड्रैग की वजह से होता है, जो एडजेसेंट लेयर के बीच में रहता है, ठीक है। लिक्विड और गैसेस में जब तक के रिलेटिव वेलोसिटी स्मॉल है, तब तक विस्कस ड्रैग डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू रिलेटिव वेलोसिटी रहता है। लेकिन अगर हम टर्बुलेंट फ्लो की बात करें, जहां रिलेटिव वेलोसिटी वेरी हाई होता है, ऐसी केस में विस्कस ड्रैग डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू हायर पावर ऑफ रिलेटिव वेलोसिटी रहता है, ठीक है। सबसे टॉप की जो लेयर है उसकी वेलोसिटी v प्लस dv है, और जो हमने रेफरेंस लेवल लिया हुआ है वो v स्पीड से जा रहा है, क्लियर। अब जो रिलेटिव वेलोसिटी लेना है टॉप मोस्ट लेयर का विद रिस्पेक्ट टू रेफरेंस लेवल, तो वो होगा उनकी वेलोसिटी का डिफरेंस, मतलब v प्लस dv माइनस v, ऐसा लेना होगा। तो ये होगी रिलेटिव वेलोसिटी टॉप लेयर की विद रिस्पेक्ट टू रेफरेंस लेवल, जो v स्पीड से चल रहा है, क्लियर। तो अब ये dv है। अब इनके बीच का डिस्टेंस कितना है? इनके बीच का डिस्टेंस होना चाहिए dx है, राइट। तो दो लेयर के बीच का सेपरेशन कितना हो गया? dx। तो अगर हम इसका रेशियो ले लें dv अपॉन dx, तो ये हो जाएगा वेलोसिटी ग्रेडियंट। इतना इजी है। देखो क्या किया आपने, सबसे टॉप का लेयर लिया, उसके नीचे का एडजेसेंट लेयर लिया, उनका रिलेटिव वेलोसिटी dv है, उनके बीच का डिस्टेंस dx है, तो dv अपॉन dx वेलोसिटी ग्रेडियंट हो गया, क्लियर। अच्छा, अब इसको डिफाइन कैसे करते हो वो देखिए। The rate of change of velocity with distance measured from stationary layer is called velocity gradient. क्लियर। देखिए, जहाँ वेलोसिटी गिनते नहीं जमता वहाँ वेलोसिटी ग्रेडियंट लिया जाता है। ये कुछ उसी तरह से है जैसा जहाँ मास गिना नहीं जाता वहाँ डेंसिटी लेते हैं। ध्यान से सुनो, जहाँ पर मास गिना नहीं जाता वहाँ पे हम डेंसिटी लेते हैं। ठीक उसी प्रकार जहाँ वेलोसिटी गिनती नहीं आती वहाँ हम वेलोसिटी ग्रेडियंट लेते हैं, ठीक है। दोस्तों, वीडियो इनकम्प्लीट होता यदि मैं कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ विस्कोसिटी न लेता। चलिए आप देखते हैं। अकॉर्डिंग टू न्यूटन्स लॉ और स्ट्रीमलाइन फ्लो, viscous force is directly proportional to area of the layer and its velocity gradient. Clear? So we may write F is directly proportional to A into dV upon dx. This can be written as F equals eta A into dV upon dx. दोस्तों, यहाँ पे जो ईटा है वो कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ विस्कोसिटी ऑफ लिक्विड है, ठीक है। इसे ग्रीक अल्फाबेट ईटा से शो किया हुआ है। सो हम इसको थोड़ा मॉडिफाई कर लेते हैं। ईटा इक्वल्स एफ अपॉन ए टीवी अपॉन डी एक्स। सो आप इसे कैसे रीड करते हैं? ऐसे रीड करेंगे कि कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ विस्कोसिटी इज विस्कस फोर्स एक्टिंग पर यूनिट एरिया पर यूनिट वेलोसिटी ग्रेडियंट। ओके, तो चलिए इस पर से इसका डेफिनेशन बनाते हैं। The coefficient of viscosity is defined as the viscous force per unit area per unit velocity gradient. चलिए अब इसका ऐसा यूनिट ढूंढते हैं। Recall the formula. Now, unit of force is Newton, area square meter, and velocity gradient has unit per second. Clear? So second will go up in the numerator, right? So we get Newton second per square meter. Clear? Its CGS unit is poise. ठीक है दोस्तों, वीडियो करते यहीं पे वाइंड अप। कल मिलेंगे नए लर्निंग के साथ में। वीडियो पसंद आया तो लाइक जरूर करना और दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करना ना भूलें। बाय बाय।